our happy YouTube. And welcome everybody to another You Are Happy show with Melanie Wakirka, who is with the Amari organization. And I think the biggest news we have is that Melanie is now what are you?
I'm a mental health coach, a mental wellness coach.
An official mental health coach now. So
yes.
Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
But we are with the World of Ability Podcast Network. Special thanks to Marcus Hart, Jay Stroyan, Laura Swingate, Zach Clayton for playing the show on their platforms. So encourage everybody to go to all of our social media. Like, share, comment, and so on. So I am going to pass over to Melanie.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm super excited to be here. I am going to actually reintroduce myself today, introduce a little bit about what a wellness coach is, tell you where I've come from, where I've been from, and why being a mental wellness coach is so important these days. So I'm actually going to share my screen here. Let's see. And I just have to get back up to the, wrong one. Let's see if this is the right one. Let me reshare my screen. Ensure it stops it. And then I need to get into the PowerPoint. All right, so we're going to go all the way back up to the top. So for those of you who don't know who I am Melanie Wakirka. I'm a mental wellness coach with Marietta College. And the founder of Amari is the one who ran this course, but he did it in such a way to where anybody could join. And he educated us on the ingredients that are in Amari, but anybody can be educated on certain ingredients. So this is Dr. Sean. Dr. Sean Talbot is he has his PhD. He is a biochemist. He has been like a psychological coach for Olympic teams. He's absolutely phenomenal, and he actually preaches what he does because he runs these amazing like triathlons, and he runs Ironman competitions, and it's just been a real pleasure to get to know him. So, there's a couple different aspects here. We have that he coaches on. He has a place called Three Waves Wellness. There's Amari, and then there is continuing education, which is exactly what we do, and that's why he came up with us. So Three Waves Wellness is where he is at. I would love to go. It is a retreat in Massachusetts that he has designed that helps with sleep, with physical aspects, mental aspects, everything there. So the wellness revolution they thought was going to get back up here was going to kick off with Prince Harry joining what was called Better Ups app. Well, it didn't really go that way. Everything went kind of south, and we were because Prince Harry and his wife were really big into mental wellness. They're big into, finding different ways to heal your body and to really make yourself a better person, right? But we all know what happened with all that, and it just didn't take off like we should. But the new paradigm is with mental wellness is the gut, heart, brain axis and mental wellness. So why do we categorize those into different things? Because mental wellness is the physical, the mental, and the emotional aspects of it. So, and then the gut, brain, heart axis is just one of it. If that's not working, your body is not working properly. So what we do is we typically ask people as a mental wellness, instead of saying, hey, how are you doing? People are like, fine, I'm good. We're going to ask you, so on this scale from 1 to 10, can you tell me where you're at? Right? And this will give us a little bit of aspect of what we need to do and what we need to dig into here, right? So, such as if you're saying, I'm at about a 2 or I'm at about an orange, I'd be like, well, tell me more about that. What are exactly your struggles? What are you struggling with and how can we help you? So, such as I know that for ADD and ADHD, there's some like mood plus. So there's different, our mood plus for kids, there's happy juice, there's different things that I can recommend. If you're dealing with fibromyalgia and arthritis, we may have to recommend our hemp oil and our Relief Plus. If you have heart disease, we might have to recommend Heart Plus. And then we have to also dig into your physical aspect of how you're exercising, how you're relieving the stress, how you are going about yourself. If you're saying I'm green, like that's so me. I am so damn tired. I can't even get out of it. This is happy juice all the way. But if you say you're bloated and you just feel chubby, then we might have to go about, the fat burner or GBX Fit. So there's a lot of different ways. And if you're like, I'm golden, I'm at a 10, I am thriving, there's nothing that anybody can do for me. I'm like, well, how would you like to maintain that? Let's maintain you being happy for a long period of time. Instead of just being happy for 2 or 3 days, let's maintain you being happy for a while, and then we can ride the bumps as it comes, because as you know, every single day is so different when you're dealing with your mental fitness. It could be one little thing that hits and all of a sudden you're turned around. Hey, Emily, did you see Jeanette joined us?
Yes, I did.
So you want to go ahead and put Jeanette on? Jeanette, are you there?
I am here. I just didn't know what I was going to be doing.
I just saw you. So I was focusing on talking because we didn't know if you were going to be on. And then, yeah. So come on camera so I can see your beautiful face. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
So if you didn't hear the news, I just became a mental wellness coach with the Marietta College.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
And I was kind of explaining the difference, because a mental wellness coach is going to dig more into like the mental fitness side of things. Have you ever heard of that?
I mean, that's pretty popular right now. A lot of people are struggling because of the COVID. So there's a lot of talk about mental health. I don't know. The difference in mental wellness would just be that you actually are not treating, you're actually trying to prevent, is what I kind of assume.
Yeah, it's kind of both, because you never treat because it's not a drug. So but I know a lot of our era, where we came from, because I'm almost 50, so we didn't talk about this. This was not something that we were even, I feel like we weren't able to talk about it. What about you? I'm gonna come off share screen and then come back when I need it.
Yes, I think there was the same thing. I'm 60, so and I grew up in Wisconsin, and it was just a really different, there's a lot of winter. So I don't think the mental health of Wisconsinites, except the ones that really like the outdoors, they do really well. But the ones that are not outdoorsy people, like I didn't have a snowmobile. I didn't have all those, fun things that you do in the snow. So it really wasn't that easy to get through those winters.
You had to build those forts, right? I lived in St. Louis, so I'm in Tampa now. So I lived in St. Louis, and I think it was 1980 that we had like this huge snow like you guys normally get, and we were building like these massive forts.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. You don't get out, or you don't want to get out.
Right.
I found myself a lot of times, and my husband in Missouri, that we just sat on the couch and didn't, dug in basically.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of what we did with COVID. We were very, very isolated. My husband's health. We didn't go out, when it opened up like a couple of weeks later, where people started going out again, we didn't. And we didn't for 3 years. So that was, yeah.
So how'd you get groceries?
They were delivered.
Okay. I didn't know if you were like in a more remote area.
Oh no, I'm in Coral Springs. So it's just like Target's right next door. We have the grocery store right next door. Everything's, so it got delivered for a while. And then after that, our kids started going, and then they would just bring it to us. So, yeah, it was really not a good experience, but you do what you have to do.
So how did you deal with that?
I mean, in the beginning, the biggest problem with it is, it happened in March 3 years ago, and we moved here.
Crazy. That's crazy.
We
That's
had
crazy.
just moved from Tallahassee, so we knew nobody except the kids. And so yeah, that was just it was really hard. I didn't really do it for like the first 6 months. I didn't want to do anything. It's like, I don't know what to do. I wasn't wearing makeup. I was in my bathrobe. And then it was like, okay, finally I got a haircut. I felt a lot better. And then Zoom calls, and that really helped a lot. Made a big difference for me.
Yeah. I felt myself like almost crying for no reason and not knowing where I cried, but then not comfortable that I was crying. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like not comfortable that I was crying over,
Mhm.
I didn't really know what,
Right.
it was a rough, but then we're coming out of this, and there's a lot of companies that are popping up that aren't what they say they are.
Really?
So such as, I don't know if you followed me on social media, but
No,
lately I've been
first time I didn't hear of you until today.
okay. So there's a lot of different herbs, antigens, adaptogens, different things that I've been learning about, and where you're supposed to be getting them from, how they're supposed to be processed,
Wow.
and how they're supposed to be taken care of.
Mhm.
So such as we hear about ashwagandha, right? You haven't heard of it. So ashwagandha is seriously like all the rage. I was just in a meeting, everybody there knew about ashwagandha, but when I asked them where they get their ashwagandha from, they didn't know.
Oh, wow.
So ashwagandha that is not laced, is not heavy, doesn't have heavy metals, is not overly processed, is very hard to get,
Mhm.
and it's actually high in the mountains,
Wow. Okay.
is where you get this from.
Mhm.
So ashwagandha can't be processed in the United States. It can be, but it can be laced or watered down. And if it's watered down, because they get a little bit of it, diluted down, tell you it's ashwagandha, right? And then you're like, this isn't working. Ashwagandha should work right away. So what ashwagandha actually is a natural mood booster.
Oh,
Okay. They've been using this over in like India and different countries for thousands of years. Yeah. It's amazing. Amari is amazing because they brought this stuff actually from where it's supposed to be and then put it in our products, right? So I'm learning this. I'm just like, tell me more. Tell me more.
that's right.
Another thing that Amari does that I was not like, my mind was blown, right?
Mhm.
When you farm and they say it's organic, right? So we tested the soil, it's organic. We have no pesticides. What about the field next to it that has been rented?
Mhm.
So a lot of times these plots of land that they have, people farm them, but they rent them and pay people to farm them.
Right.
So it could be organic here, but they could be spraying chemicals over here. Where do you think the chemicals go? By air?
Back. Yeah.
So, I mean, my mind, as I said, I was just like, holy cow, I didn't even think of this stuff, right? And here I am trying to be healthy and get out of this crappy mental state.
Mhm.
And that's when I got on the mission. I just don't want people, I want people to come out of that state, know how to come out of the state when they go back to it, because our bodies naturally go back to that, especially if we have like bad bacteria in our gut. It'll naturally stop the connection and you'll start going backwards again.
Oh,
But
wow.
how do you go forward? Because the stuff in the grocery store isn't what they said it is.
Right. Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So it's there's a whole bunch of other ingredients too. Like this is really cool. Okay, do you have your phone near you?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes.
whatever. Okay, Google saffron versus Ritalin.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Is it FF for saffron?
Saffron, and I think it's Ritlin. And I keep going back to this because it's absolutely blew my mind.
Wait. I'm sorry, saffron versus Ritalin. Okay,
Ritalin.
it's actually on here. Okay, Ritalin. Results of the fix saffron is more effective. Wow. So, and saffron, wow, that is really interesting. Because I know, I mean, that was the big, when my kids were in school, they had to go to the office, not my children, but it's like they were always going to the office to get the medications, you know, and that's pretty amazing.
And that's not even from Amari. So that's why I wanted you to Google that, right?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times people will just say stuff, but they won't be able to back it up.
Right.
So, but then again, I'm gonna go back to that course that I just took. Then we learned what exactly saffron is.
Mhm.
So saffron only opens up one time a year, and that's in October. Okay.
Mhm.
The saffron is a little stamen inside there, and they have to hand pluck all these.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Then it closes back up, and guess what? Next October.
Huh.
That's what saffron actually is. Saffron is actually a super expensive spice.
Mhm. Oh, I can imagine if that's how they farm it.
It's a super expensive spice. So we harvest it at the peak of harvesting it,
Mhm.
and then we preserve it. They make sure that it's okay being with other ingredients. They make sure they test it to make sure if they have to heat it up, that the bioavailability is still there. But that's what saffron actually is.
Wow.
Yeah. And another cool one was that kind of blow your mind with turmeric.
Oh, I've heard of turmeric. Yes, I actually bought some turmeric. And
Yeah.
and I drink some the tea I drink has saffron in it, I believe, or turmeric. I mean, it's a real yellow orangey thing. It turns everything yellow orange. Yeah.
All right, you ready for more mind blowing?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have to put black pepper in your turmeric to activate your turmeric, it's actually a lower grade.
Hmm.
Because a lot of times they'll say add black pepper into it, right? So turmeric is natural anti-inflammatory, but there's different different types. You can use the stem, you can use the root, or you can use the whole thing. I have no idea, right? I was like,
No.
right? So you're going to the store and you're like, I'm done. I'm grinding my own turmeric. But how long has it taken from them to get from point A to point B?
Oh, I'm sure a while.
Right. So you want to make sure you're getting the most potent because you want to feel better. If it's anti-inflammatory, you want to feel better.
Mhm.
Reason being is number one reason that people have mental wellness issues is because of finances.
Right.
Number two is inflammation.
Mhm.
Inflammation causes depression. Depression causes suicidal thoughts.
Mhm.
So I was like, pretty cool little aspects, right? So this is stuff that I, as a mental wellness coach, will coach you on. Everybody
Right.
it has a different formulation that they need to be taking.
Mhm.
There's not one formulation of one person. It should be exactly the same.
Wow.
You're a different body.
Mhm. So do you
You're
take blood tests then? How do you?
not for gut microbiome. Now that is coming. They are researching it right now, exactly how to start testing your gut microbiome to
Mhm.
see exactly what you wanted. Emily's stretching in the background.
She must have sat too long.
To see exactly what you want. Great job, Emily. To see exactly what you wanted. But that is coming. You can test for certain vitamins, but Amari is not a vitamin company. We have a multivitamin that also has phytonutrients and polyphenols in it. So it's a little different than the regular vitamin. And then we have a vitamin C blend, and it's blended with mushrooms and different other herbs in there. That's all the vitamins we have.
Mhm.
Otherwise, adaptogens, antigens, different stuff to help with your mental fitness. So yeah, that's something that you start off on one product. We discuss what it is as a mental wellness coach, and then we just start formulating different formulas for you. Okay, you're having more like mood swings.
Mhm.
Let's try adding the Mood Plus or the Kids Mood Plus. Your hormones are all over the place. Let's try a hormone balancer.
Mhm.
So there's different formulations that everybody can take. The one you see on the screen is actually a healthy soda. So it's a kombucha soda.
Mhm.
It kind of tastes like, have you had Olipop?
Mhm.
Tastes like Olipop, or it tastes like a very light vest, like the strawberry vest, very light strawberry vest soda.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah,
Pretty cool.
definitely. Yeah.
So let's talk about you. Let's talk about you a little bit. So how did you said something interesting, and then we see Mary Kay in the background, right? So during COVID, you didn't want to wear makeup.
Yeah, that was that was like when I was not feeling well at all. As a matter of fact, when I started wearing my makeup again, everything's just changed. It made me feel better in the morning. I did my hair, did my makeup every single morning. And it was a huge change for me versus, because the Zooms were coming and I wanted to look good on screen. But for those first 6 months after the move, I didn't find a purpose. And that was our 13th move. So yeah.
Military?
We were, yes.
Okay. I was like 13th move if you're not military. Holy cow.
But this last move was because we wanted to be close to our grandkids. So, because they live a mile away from us now, which is really cool. Yeah.
And how old are they?
7 months and almost 5 years.
Okay.
He's 4 going on 5.
Aw. And how did you get into Mary Kay? And then we'll talk about feel good aspect after that.
Well, I had a facial when I was 16, and then I joined the military at 19, because that was not a good fit for me. So I went back and I had a facial, and we're, working with all men, 21 men to every one woman, or can I do something else that's gonna be like, and I brought the Mary Kay into my life, and I just kind of played with it for a while, for actually several years, until I realized, okay, this is really a good way to make money. And I actually started working my business, holding facials and parties and that sort of thing. And it just really changed my business. For 22 years, I earned the use of 11 cars. And then we moved again. And then my husband was diagnosed with cancer. So we were like, okay, this is, we want to be close to family. So we moved to Tallahassee. And then after our daughter graduated from law school, there wasn't a reason to be in Tallahassee. So now we're in Coral Springs, and we have our last forever house. And so yeah, it's much better. We really love it down here. The traffic's a little tough to get around, but other than that, we really are very blessed, and we're glad to be here.
Oh, it's not as easy to get from me in Tampa to you in Tallahassee. People think that like, oh, you're in Florida. No. It's like farmland between you and me, that if you're the least bit tired, forget it.
Well, we're no longer in Tallahassee. We are in Coral Springs, which is close to Boca Raton.
Oh, okay. On the other side.
Yes, we're on the ocean
Yeah.
side. Yes.
And yeah. I totally get it. Okay, so the reason I think that these two companies work together is because I mentioned physical
Mhm.
aspect too. So
Right.
Mary Kay, and I'm very familiar with Mary Kay, does a fantastic job of teaching their distributors about how to hold themselves with pride, how to hold themselves with love,
Mhm.
how to make sure that you express what's on the insides on the outside.
Mhm.
So would you like to elaborate on that a little more?
Well, it was a little different for us because I didn't go to those meetings, but in the beginning I did. And the sisterhood is unbelievable. I mean, if anything ever happened, for instance, my husband was overseas when I went to labor. I had 2 Mary Kay directors on each side of me while I had my baby. So, and it's really a lot easier to have female versus our first men in the room, and they had no idea what was going on. So it was, and then he made 2 days later after I went into labor 2 weeks early because it was right during the Oklahoma City bombing.
Oh
And
my gosh.
and I was just bawling at church, and then I went into labor early. and all my girlfriends said, don't go, don't go to the service. It's like, oh, I want to be there. It's important. But like I said, I went into labor. So
Were you in Oklahoma at the time?
yes. But I had been commuting back and forth to Japan. So I think we had missed the actual bombing. But then when we got back with my daughter, I mean, everything had changed in the area, So yeah, and then we moved, like I said, 13 times. So it seemed like every time we left, something even worse happened. Like when we left Tallahassee or Panama City, they had a Hurricane 5, like a year after we left Panama City. So, and that flattened out Panama City. So
You're
but-
not allowed to leave Coral Springs.
No, I know. I know.
Because if you leave Coral Springs, some of that stuff might come this way too. You're staying.
Yeah. Where did you say you were?
I'm in Tampa.
Tampa. Okay.
We're over
you've
by
been
you all
there?
the time with soccer, though.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
mhm,
Cool.
mhm. We were just in Fort Lauderdale last weekend,
Mhm.
so not too far. Yeah, and so we're gonna backtrack back to Mary Kay. So they do a really good job. Doesn't mean that the Mary Kay people don't need mental wellness, but what I'm saying is that by changing your appearance can help sometimes change your mood.
Yes, absolutely. Even just putting on a lipstick, it can definitely change your mood.
Yeah. And you can show them how to do that. So you mentioned classes, you hold online classes.
Well, now we're doing the Zoom. Yes, the Zoom classes.
So what entails in a class? I've been through the classes
Mhm.
with friends of mine, but I want you to tell people what is entailed in those.
Well, we send the samples and then we show them how to, wash their face and how to, all the different steps. And, sometimes there's like the nighttime one where they just go to bed, they don't put their makeup on. But with Zoom, you can show them how to put the makeup on also. So it just, it's easier than, we thought it would be, because it makes sense. And then the cards that we send actually, it has step-by-step how to use it. And it even has almost like paint by number, because you'll have like the eyeshadows and it says 1, 2, 3. And then there's a picture of an eye and it shows you 1, 2, 3, where to put the shadows.
Oh, that's cool.
We also
And
have,
then
we have an
and you
app.
have what? An app, you said?
Yes, and you take the whole face in there and they tell you what products you need based on if you're getting wrinkles or not. So,
Huh.
and then we have another one called Mirror Me, and you can change colors of lipstick and change colors of eyeshadows virtually.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I was going to say is when I said is you can help teens too.
Yes.
And something that with their appearance with teenagers is really affected when they have acne. And sometimes acne is internal, but it's not always because the bacteria that gets on your skin. How can Mary Kay help with that? Men and women. Because
Right,
I know about the
definitely.
men line too.
Well, we've got this little MK Men here too. So, but we have products that are made for the acne products, and it has the correct ingredients and everything to because their skin is different when they're younger. Their skin is usually oilier, and that's when a lot of the acne happens, when they're not cleaning their skin properly. A lot of times that's all it is. They need to clean morning and evening. And people say, why do I have to clean in the morning? My face is clean. It's like, well, your skin filters out dirt, so you need to wash in the morning also. But we have a whole line just for acne products.
I love it. And what's really cool is I learned this through Amari's hormone balancer, that facial acne is not necessarily a sign of hormonal changes in boys.
Mhm.
Back acne is.
Okay, I hadn't heard that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So every once in a while, and I'm not saying all the time, but most of the time it's the back acne. The facial is either like the bacteria, or let's say they're using, one of your products and all of a sudden it stops working. It could be the food they're eating.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
it could be the food. Allergic reactions to food can show up on your face.
Right.
as well. So the great first step is call you, find out, if one of your products, will work, use them. And then if it doesn't, then dig in a little more.
Well, and our products are 100% guaranteed. So if we give them something that doesn't work, even if it's months, we'll take it back and either refund their money or give them a product that will work. Just keep trying to, find the right thing.
Oh,
But
just
most
like
times we
just
don't
like we
have,
said with Amari.
right.
Just like we said with Amari, sometimes you need different products from different lines
Mhm.
to help you be successful. So there's really no difference in that, right? So you
Right.
got to find your own secret formula,
Mhm.
to see what works and will help you keep. What is that pink thing in the background under your QR code?
Those are eye patches with vitamins in it, and you put it underneath your eyes, and it takes care of the puffiness, and it's really awesome. And they're a little shiny looking, and you do it for like 10 minutes. The eye patches 10 to 20 minutes, and it's fun. It makes a big difference.
So what differences have you noticed with those?
Well, like I said, it takes care of the puffiness. It's cooling, so it's a good thing to put on in the morning. Now, I don't do this, but some people put it in the refrigerator, so then it's really cool.
Oh, that would feel so good down here in Florida some days.
Absolutely. And sometimes it can be for
Oh.
morning or evening. It just depends when you want to take the extra time. You can, do other things while they're on your face, or you can just say, I'm going to just take a 10-minute break and just relax and maybe.
Oh, so only 10 minutes you put them on for?
Yes, they don't stay
Okay.
on.
I've seen some people walk around with them all,
Okay, yeah.
I know I have. When you go to like TikTok and YouTube, they're like, where, you know what I mean? It's like, hold on, what are you doing that for?
Absolutely.
What are
Absolutely.
you doing that for? And what age groups with that? So
Really, you start pretty young with the eye patches. I mean, like as a teenager, if they're feeling stress, it does kind of, even though it doesn't exactly take the stress away, it's the fact that you're putting something there. And, like I said, we recommend that you just give yourself a break because we need those. So anywhere from teens on up to, from 9 to 99. So,
yeah, I would say stress reducer.
yes.
You know what I mean? It reduces stress because it's going to
Mhm.
make you almost maybe take a time out and feel something nice and distract you from what's going on.
Exactly.
It's a fun thing to do that gives you some benefits as well.
Right.
So, and how would they get in contact with you if they want to, besides the QR code? So if they can't scan the QR code, because some people really,
Right.
I have mine up too, but they can't do it. How would they get a hold of you if they want to either help you with a party or contact you personally? Because there's something I know about Mary Kay too. How many makeovers do you have to have a month?
Oh, we don't have that anymore. I mean,
Oh, you don't have that anymore?
no, I mean,
Here I am trying to get to the 30 and 50 that has been before.
oh my goodness. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more individualized. We don't have that, oh, you have to do 30, that kind of thing. So, but it is our 60th anniversary, so that number is out there. And also we're doing a model makeover contest with the grand prize is $1,500. And I can send the samples and show them how to put
So
it
that
on.
$1,500 is for you, correct? That's what you, so
No,
let's
that
go.
would be the customer. She submits her picture through a different QR code, and then knows that's the customer that gets the $1,500, not the consultant.
Okay.
But I'll put my website in the chat.
I don't know if they'll be able to do the chat. So here's an idea for you.
Okay.
So if you go in and rename your name and then see how mine is youarehappygirl.com, then they know then you can reach me really easy. Right. For you are happy. So put it in there and then they'll be able to either contact me, contact Emily, contact Kurt, or they can go to your website easily there, just in case they can't scan it for whatever reason. Technology acts up all the time. Who knows why technology acts up? That's a whole nother show on stressors. Mm-hmm. So to end the show, what I'm going to ask you is, since this is stress awareness month, what is your favorite way to reduce stress?
play with my grandbabies because they're so much fun, and they just add. I mean, he's smiling right now, the 7-month-old. So that, I mean, when you get a smile from a baby, it just kind of changes your whole demeanor. But if it was like a me thing, I love to go for a walk, and see all the green because it's so green down here. And so walking is also a good. Because not everybody's going to have a baby to hold, right? But they can go out for a walk.
I know every time I hold a baby, I'm end up sleeping.
Yeah.
Before I know it, before I know it, I'm like on the couch. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great. Well, Jeanette, it was such a pleasure to talk with you and get to know you a little better. And I thank you so much for joining us today. And I wholeheartedly appreciate it. Jeanette has her website it would be the left of your screen. And if you need to find me, you can find me at youarehappygirl.com. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Jeanette. Have a great day. And until next time.
Okay. All right. Take care.